Hey, I'm Shane, and today I'm going to talk about the Universal Remote. This is the only primary shotgun currently in Destiny, and in this video I'll go over all the aspects of the weapon, and I'll briefly talk about how I actually use the gun. The Universal Remote, first of all, can be acquired as a random drop, or it can be sold by Xur. I got mine from Xur, but it's a normal exotic weapon, so you get it from an engram or as an end of the game bonus. So just keep playing and you might stumble across it. The Universal Remote kind of looks like a Frankenstein's monster of all the weapons in Destiny. I don't think anyone would call this a really pretty weapon. It's a fun design with tape on the muzzle and camouflage paint to it, which isn't bad looking, though it's best described as an odd weapon still. It's a shotgun with a big scope on it, and it's kind of strange to see. The zoom on the scope isn't the best, and it's quite far for a shotgun. The field of view though is pretty good, and it's a very useful sight. However, the zoom that it goes to isn't great because it's a shotgun and you don't need that far of a zoom, but it really gets a point across that this is a long range shotgun. The Universal Remote has no elemental damage type to it, and this is because it's a primary weapon actually. Like the Vex Mytho class in No Land Beyond, this is a special weapon that gets moved up to the primary slot. The Universal Remote is very much so a high impact, high range weapon with a low rate of fire. And the time you're going to take between shots is a big factor to consider, so it's really important to place those shots when you fire. The first three upgrades are the different recoils, and I'll compare those later in the video as usual. I'll continue on to the next upgrade, which is crowd control, which gives you bonus damage after you kill an enemy. This is a useful perk for a shotgun because you often find yourself biting off more than you can chew, and often you'll be fighting multiple enemies at the same time at close range. And this bonus damage you get after killing one of them really helps you maybe take down that second player, but you often will die, so it's a 50-50 if this is useful or not. The next upgrades are Hammerforged, Lightweight, and Snapshot. All of these are very useful. Hammerforged gives you more range, Lightweight improves your character agility, and then Snapshot increases the speed that you aim at. All of these are very effective, but the one that you'll want is Hammerforged, which improves your range. And really, this is all you want out of this shotgun because this is a long range shotgun. Lightweight is useful and people can use it if you're running very fast with this weapon and trying to get close range on people. However, the extra range you get from Hammerforged just puts you over the top for actually being able to use this weapon at a range. The final perk for the weapon is called the Universal Remote, and that's what really makes this weapon, obviously because it's the final perk, but still, it's very useful. What it does is when you're aiming down sight, it gives you bonus precision damage and range, and basically you want to aim down sights when you use this weapon because you get more range out of it, unless you're incredibly close range and you don't need that range. Once you get this perk, it really turns the weapon into more of a usable weapon for your primary slot, because you can actually kind of quick scope with it like in the old Call of Duty days, and it's a noticeable difference when you're aiming down sights. In the footage I'll show you, you'll really see how tightly clustered the shots are when you fire at a range, and that gives you the opportunity to actually get headshots with the weapon. So I'll take this opportunity to talk about the three different recoils. First up is Smooth Ballistics on the left, and this gives you the most damage but has pretty bad stability. Next up is Soft Ballistics, which takes a bite out of the damage but gives you more range. And then finally is their CQB Ballistics, which gives you the least recoil but also highly reduced range. Of these three, it's a kind of hard choice because this gun does have pretty unwieldy stability, but the benefit of having the increased stability from CQB Ballistics isn't worth the sacrifice to range. So I would go with Soft Ballistics because you just get the most range out of the weapon. The damage is going to be directly related to the range, so if you're going close range often with enemies, you might want to go with Smooth Ballistics. However, Soft Ballistics just gives you a little edge, and it works well in PvE as well as PvP, so I recommend that. The biggest issue with this weapon actually is its reload time and its ammo capacity. You only have 5 shots to a magazine, which cannot be modified by the perks, and you have a very low starting ammo capacity, and that's pretty crippling. You're trying to shoot people, but you won't have that much ammo to do so with, so it's hard to use in PvE because of that. In PvP, you won't notice this, but when you're playing the story and raid, you might have a hard time. Even though you're getting close range and you will pick up the ammo very often, there will be times when you're out of ammo completely and this weapon will be unusable, which is this weapon's Achilles heel, because it's a primary weapon and ideally you should never run out of ammo with that. I'll move on to the opinion that I have on this gun, and I'll talk about the story first. And really, it can be summed up in that this is a situational weapon. You can wreck house sometimes in low tier missions, and the enemies you kill will be like dead in one shot. And since a 1.1.1 update when shotguns got 2 times damage buff, this really makes it a valid weapon to use, because as long as you're moving quickly and getting close to people, you can take out like major enemies in 1 to 2 shots, which is an incredible feat to do. However, you cannot realistically think you can use this through a whole mission or the whole raid. You're not going to be fighting Crota with this weapon, and you really need your primary to do so. Also, you're not going to be taking on Ballistics in the Mars strike, because you just can't get close range with him, or any other strike that is, because the melee attacks from the boss will just knock you away or kill you in one hit, in making it pretty much impossible to use, and you'll be a penalty to your teammates, so I don't recommend using it. Online, however, it's pretty much the same thing. This is a situational weapon, because it's a shotgun. If you're not close range with an enemy, this gun's going to be hard to use. Mid-range even, you're not going to beat a hand cannon, because this gun just can't kill in one shot from too far away, so you're going to have to get real close to people. And for some people, this is the best weapon in the game for that, because it's a weapon that you can get a one-shot kill at the farthest distance with. Besides the sniper, obviously, but that's a headshot. This gun can just take people out from pretty far away, relatively speaking, compared to other shotguns, and that's very useful. And my favorite thing about this weapon actually is that you can have a sniper at the same time as the shotgun. In online, that's ideal for me, because I'm using a sniper half the game, so if I can just pull out a shotgun when I'm going close range with someone, I'm much more confident, and I can get that kill much easier than I would have if I was using a sniper rifle or auto rifle that close range. It's kind of a novelty weapon still, and you can use it sometimes to great success, and some people do. In an experienced player, this is a very good weapon to have in your arsenal. However, to a newer player or someone who doesn't love shotguns, don't pick it up, because this weapon is just going to piss you off a lot. And there's other normal primary exotics like Red Death or Bad Juju that are just much more effective if you're going to be actually playing with this weapon seriously and not insanely close range. Overall, the Universal Remote is a good gun. I love it, and I'm very happy I bought it from Xur, and I suggest you do. However, if this is going to be your first exotic, don't pick it up. Maybe wait till next week till something more practical turns around the corner. Its lack of ammo and just overall awkwardness makes this weapon interesting, but not great for that reason. I love it because it's so different, and it really, you can play with a different playstyle with this weapon, which is just nice to have something different in the game. But it's just not perfect, and it's not the gun's fault for that. It's just, it doesn't fit in always with every playstyle. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just drop a comment below and I'll be sure to answer them. Please consider subscribing if you liked this video, and maybe drop a like if you did, and consider checking out my other videos and gun reviews I have if you enjoyed this one again. Thanks though, and I hope you have a great day.